The scale.
And the scale. Anyway,
Ain't a scale.
we'll let Enda announce himself. He can tell all sorts of cool things that he does. And I understand you have CDs.
I do. I have CDs, but I think we got to get people to so that the festival gets its cut. You'll have to head over to there's a merch stand to the left of the Coors stage there. So Shin on the road. Yeah. So I'm Enda, and pleased to meet you all. Hope you're all doing well. And the way to remember my name is it's kind of like Enya. Where you take take the Y out and put a D in instead. We'll go ahead and get more on Dini and Sean. Right? Have you any words of Irish or Gaelic? No. So I didn't grow up we're in the Gaeltacht tent, and in Ireland the Gaeltacht is, if you don't know, it's certain areas, mainly in the west, where Gaelic Irish is spoken all the time. I grew up in my school area. In school, we spoke only Irish, so I learned German through Irish and physics and chemistry and all that stuff. But when I went home, it was all English again. So anyway, I'm gonna start off with, where do we go? Yeah, this is a song called "An Onlog." And there's a song as Gaeilge that we'd learn in school, which is By hey look mar up gum day clar, by hey look mar up gum day clar, by hey look mar up gum day clar, ke what done bay eighty by me on is the water in the leg to Canadian me, water in the leg to Canadian me, water in the leg to Canadian me. So that's a tune we would learn in school, and in that the girl wants to go to the fair, and her mom is like, no, you're not old enough yet, you're only 11, you're not 13 or 14, when you're older you can go to the fair. So in my mind then I was like, ooh, what's the song like when she is older and she goes to the fair, and so that's the song that I wrote, and in this song her fella, who's a cowboy, is at the fair. He's a buchelbo, and he's there, and he's like, where is she? She's late. And they don't have phones because this is like in ancient times. So instead of texting, magic comes in through animals, and through an fine log, which is the swallow, comes along and robs her handkerchief and brings it to the boy, and he knows she's in the area, and the day is saved, and they meet up, and they have the rest of their lives is amazing. So this is an on-low. Alina Great. Yeah, so I made a grammatical error with this song. I called it on Fánlóg, but anyone who knows their Gaeltacht knows that it's Buin Inchkinnock and it should be on Anlóg. So there you go. We learn as we go. So yeah. So there. Yeah. So in other ways, I'm ruining the language. There's the first song I wrote in Gaelic. I was talking with a DJ, Ronan McAwee, who's an amazing man, and he's very ill at the moment. But our thoughts are with him, and mine are now because Gaeilge has taken me to the Gaeltacht in Milwaukee, and I'm delighted to be here. And he was the one who opened the door in my mind to the fact that I could. That it's not a dead language. You know, people are allowed to be artistic with it and write songs. Why not? You know, see what comes out. So there's a phrase, Mullen Oige is Chukashi, which kind of means praise the youth and they will flourish, or praise the youth. It's a good idea. They'll sort themselves out. And I took that idea and I kind of changed to praise the times, or praise the weather. That's how it comes out. So this is Mullen Aimshire, praise the weather. And it won a competition on Ronan's show then, and I went to Inverness, where there was the Nos Ur contest was on, and that was an amazing experience. All the different minority languages all around Europe, and it was amazing to hear and meet people from all around. So this is Mullen Aimshire, praise the weather.
Fall
So the last section of that, "Sure hugging on green" means "here comes the sun." So I robbed that from the Beatles without knowing, and then I was like, oh yeah, hopefully they won't come after me, you know. So my latest album, I've got, I was doing undeniably good songs and trying to do a decent job of them. That was the idea, not just with a guitar and singing. And this one went on. This is a song that might be familiar to fans of Clancy's over here, but we learned it in school with these words, "Buchel on Ernie." And I think it was like "Come by the Hills" is the kind of version over here. Which my mother kind of knows it that way, but we learned it in school as this. And in this song, the boy is trying to chat up the girl, and he's saying, you know, I love you so much and I want you so much that I wouldn't even ask for a dowry. I'm so rich that I'm getting half of Cork, and Mayo is going to be given to me, so I won't need any of that. So you may as well be with me. But like, he's full of it. Like, so he's it seems as though there is a man in the picture then later who has money and is going to get the woman, and then he gets a bit bitter, but we kind of feel sorry for him towards the end. But it's a lovely song about unrequited love. What are you gonna do?
Is er al jacht man de koest u verder. Reilly, Tom ain't ever good, no. Some gjerne med basis mit høyre
Right, so I'm gonna. You're very welcome. Have a great fest. So I'm continuing. Don't all go. I'm gonna give you a fairly new song that's kind of inspired. We'll give you a bit of Reilly with the Gaeltacht. This one's inspired by the name of Grace O'Malley as Gaeltacht. She's like the pirate queen from Mayo. And if you go to her castle, you'll see that there's like a hole in the side of the castle, but that's intentional. It's the first flushing toilet. Flushes twice a day when the tide comes in. But it's true. Oh, you'll see it. It's there. She was for a time. So her name is Grania Whale. Moyle means, to my knowledge, bald, and Grania Whale means she's bald Grania. I guess her real name was Grania Ní Whale. Or something like that, but they called her great bald Grania. And the story is that when she was young, she wanted to go out on the ships and be the pirate queen that she was meant to be, and she was told, no, what would you be doing going out? Your hair would get caught in the riggings. And she said, oh yeah, I'm gonna cut it all off. And then I was just like, yeah, that's a great story, I love that. So, and then this kind of references the fact that Pádraig Pearse kind of invoked her name in the GPO during the Rising as well, and so that's kind of mentions when you hear about Pearse. That's kind of what that's suggesting. So it's a pretty new one. I wrote it while I had COVID, so I was kind of invoking Grania Whale to come and get rid of COVID for me as well. So,
She's a legend, Grania Whale. Before ever she set sail, her dad said, you're gone nowhere. But then she cut off all her hair. She's Grania Whale. Grania Whale. Grania Whale. Grania Whale. And do you think that Grania Whale, the first time she set sail, knew that we would call her name every time we fall in pain? Run away, run away, run away. And do you think that she heard Pearse as he sang her name so fierce? And did her spirit really rise over an leafy skies? Grania Whale, chucked her side, ugly girl, but they were guarded. Grania Whale, chucked her side, ugly girl, but they were guarded. Grania Whale, chucked her side, ugly girl, but they were guarded. Do you think she hears us now? As the waves crash on her bow, if we hold her
Tanya win. She is a legend. Play to her. Did she make Mayo win the All Ireland? I don't know. It'd be. So I have a song that came about. It's a grandmother talking to her grandson. Donald's her grandson, which is kind of Daniel Osgoyle, and she's saying, "Don't be heading off away. Stick around. What have I done? You know." I guess it's kind of like the old woman of Ireland talking to her folks and saying, "Stick around. Don't be heading off." But Donald has to go because that's what Irish people do. And I had my good friend Aoife Scott was looking for songs at the beginning when she started singing first, and she did a version of this, an amazing version, but she did it a bit quicker. And she rang me up one day, Enda, the song ends too fast. We need another verse. So that's how Donald came home. Donald comes back to Ireland because of a phone call. But that's how it works. So this is Donald. We're going to do it macaronic so you can kind of follow what's going on. I'll do the verses us barely. There's a verse towards the end that I never translated to English, so that's just going to stay us barely. I passed down all that I had. My time, love and affection. Donald grew up the happiest lad. Well, Donald, the fog of Harrogate, the fog of Grammar Store, the fog of Gillivan Hattie, Donald, the fog of Well, Donald, you know I'm sick with a fever. The doctor says he has a cure, but I know you don't believe him. Donald, please stay, we must endure. Donald, the fog and Harrogate, the fog of Ramastar, the fog of Gillivan Hattie, Donald, the fog and Harrogate, the fog of Harrogate, the fog of Harrogate, the fog. His one-way ticket, he'll fly off like the wild geese and goose does. I'll just think upon him fondly till he comes back safe to us. And oh, Tara, while you're home, Tara, while you're fool, Tara, while you're fool. Oh, Tara, while you're home, Tara, while Feckum rot lad gwag pan Sinead and Ryuk is solid Donald is to my yellow law Fall to one fall to spare Feckum rot lad gwag pan Sinead and Ryuk is solid Donald is to my yellow Oh,
zu allen, von zu allen. Thanks a million. I know we're going to have the one and only Maya Nicolum later on singing proper shandos. But I have one that I learned from hearing Joseph O'Haney singing this one, Doe and Dee. And it's kind of like bits and pieces of ideas all kind of thrown in, little kind of images, like a collage of a song. And it feels like different people have added bits in over the years, so I added in my own little verse. When I was feeling sorry for myself, I was back in Ireland and my wife was in America for a year, about 10 years, well 12 years ago now. And so that all had a good ending because I got here in the end, so I'm delighted. But so this is Doe and Dee. Doing the old idle town start of hundreds. Oh, in the old idle down the eight on my is down in the old idle. Down the old idle town start of encore. Oh, in the old idle down, like Glenna Tachano in this down in the old idle down. Down in the old idle down, Anyan told this blabby. Down in the old idle down, Ta Faserach Mohis, down in the old. Hier, nou in de oordeel, nou werd mooie green is, nou in de oordeel, nou in de oordeel, tam startig in die when, nou in de oordeel, nou when will I see her again is, nou. So this is a bowron. I call it a bowron. Some people would say a boron, or a couple of different pronunciations. The bower means, this is my understanding of this anyway, correct me if I'm totally wrong, somebody. Bower means deaf. To be bower is to be deaf. So bowron means a deafener. Definitely a deafener. So you have to be careful with it, so don't want to deafen yourself. So I picked this one up over here. I got it in sent from Canada actually, and I love it. It's dead. So I kind of been learning it over COVID times and all that type of thing. So here's a song that I was in London, and the Late Late Show, if you know what that is in Ireland, it's every Friday. Everyone tunes in to RTE1, and we're all looking at the Late Late Show. But it was coming from London once, and I had been on tour with my friend Stephen. He was saying a poem. And I got to meet loads of really famous people. It was kind of mad because there was no room for me to watch the event, so I was stuck in the green room, and you know, all these famous people are coming in. It was great. But we were in the pub afterwards, and I was asking John Spillane. If you've never heard of John Spillane, he's got. If you want to learn all the Irish songs that we learned in school, that's what his album's called. Go and listen to that. It's amazing, and all John's songs are amazing. But I was asking him about this melody. And he was like, no, I never heard that melody before, because it was stuck in my head. And I was like, what's that melody? And then Paddy Maloney was sitting on the far side of the table, and he said, I wrote that. And I was like, oh my God, would you mind if I put it into a song? And he said, okay. So Paddy Maloney used to play with the Chieftains, if you hadn't heard it. So
So yeah, this is a song called Ulach Omochri, which means a weight from my heart. So it's kind of in my mind going back to Ireland and just kind of having that fuishiv about going home. I don't even know what fuishiv is in English. That happens to me sometimes. Right, let's. What is it?
Fever.
Fever. No, is it? Oh, well, I'm gonna have to.
Well, fuishiv words. I guess it's
Fuishiv lefa. Fuishiv is kind of like. I'm kind of. What's the word? I don't know. We'll figure it out by the end. Relief. I think relief. Not in the geographical sense of relief, but. So this song, "Gonna Hill With It," is. Look on the cream, into the water, put out in your eyes, to my star, look green. Look on my cream, look on the cream, into the water, put out in your eyes, to my star, look green. Look on the cream. Lost, it's then that you find me and lead me home to where my soul shines bright. Take me home tonight, down the old bond way and around the avenue to where the crescent trees come into view. The streets of my youth and new look on the freeway, going through the park. Train number 9, going down the railway line. If that train goes off for the train, you want your money back, and you look on the freeway, into the car, put out the eyes to my star, no cream. Look on the cream. You lose your way, just admire and see your happily illuminate. We create our own fate and rule up our creed. And through the water, put out in your eyes to my star, my creed. Rule up our creed. Good to meet you, Milwaukee. Thanks a million. Thanks. Yeah, we'll do this one. They love this one in Connemara. And I was on the radio on RT, Radio na Gaeltacht the former earlier. I mentioned the DJ Ronan Mockaway, who's a legend, and he's the type of guy who just, you're in the middle of a live radio broadcast and go, play that song there, really? And Liam O'Malley was there, and there was a massive piano, the big piano, the grand piano, and so I was there going, oh my god, listen to this song, Liam O'Malley's playing with me on the bleeding radio. But it's a lovely song. It's Colleen Allen, the lovely girl, they love it all around. In the Gaeltacht areas, it's the hit of the Gaeltacht. So
precious soil and a blossom rose. Down the air live it's clear to darling. Oh, holding on in this fall road. I followed all I dug my grave. Beer Lord on the Venus stone. Oh, I burn said girl to my grave, yeah. Why I'm wrong and don't you know? Sweet and darling, so I thought what I'm shed, Frank and small. I followed on, I dug my grave with beer on the Venus stone. Oh, I burned girl to my brow, yeah. By your romance, not you. Dadio Gaeltacht, Reilly Reach the block, we were wrong. I yining kjolgut, maar kjol de glarsje, no kjol ben de small, en som drog
Shame on me, rinne mé dermid cé scríomhan ar an sin Thomas Gurmí Montgomery. Written by Thomas McConnell, if you're wondering what we were saying there. So, right. So I lost a lot of my Irish. I got a lot of it in Clondalkin, in Enda, where I went to school. And actually, I was over in the bookshop and I was like looking around and what did I buy? For me on Aberfeck 5, Heavy Down, Bear Club Ship, Torgus Tar, and we count ship. Dumbala, that has to go on the wall. And then I was like, fi session mo Miltar. This was my teacher, Kieran McMurky. Yeah, so Kieran was my class teacher and he was an amazing guy. He was great. He could push. He was one of them teachers. You could push him so far, and then you know, he'd give you a lot of leeway, but when you went over that line, it was like, whoa, you know. But yeah, he taught us English amazingly well, and then I'm just delighted now that I Crin Scríb na Gaeilge. So, Areno, Shinmo. Areno, so kind of more on the Chud Gaeilge, so my folks all are right. But this word came to me one day, the word nosk. And I remember, I think we learned it in chemistry. Nosk, Enoch, and nosk, Onanoch, nosk, Rudaganella. So an ionic bond is where like sodium and chlorine come together, and so that's nosk, Enoch. And this is called a new connection. It's kind of like that. Sodium is like this metal that's like poisonous and goes on fire in air. And chlorine is poisonous as well. And then you put the two of them together, and they make salt. And you can't live without salt. So nosk, new things forming all the time is really important, obviously. And I love salt as well. Right. And nosk nua for anyone having new connections today.
De chríomhlirt I glúsa nó súla an strainte nó cara. Éisteas an nasc nua, le forma nasc nua. Éisteas an nasc nua, le forma nasc nua. Is dat de gnauwse lucht, ak niel de kriesje kroe, is dat de wijze lucht, is dat de taal aan de Ik slash aan us, de vorm aan us, Ik slash aan us,
Have we much time? Yeah. Right, no mate, that means 10. 10. So to Aaron a scríb mé Strád Archer I Ferganibh an sin I Ferganibh Cunnar na Gaeilge. So there's a place called Cunnar na Gaeilge at the Gaelic League, The American version of which has been very friendly to me in Detroit, which is great. And vi med den of Kirkle Cora, Colum Osnodik, as Keela, agus Orla, Nick Sivna, agus Cara Ellenum, Stephen James Smith, agus yeah, agus third column, right. Tails Takunia, agus Scrive, right, Lyrici. So we were doing this circle of speaking Gaelic, and yeah, we just said, let's go and write a verse of the song or something. And this is what came out of me. This is called Curran Lungig Shoal, which in it I'm imagining I'm on the River Shannon, and just going down the River Shannon and on a new journey. But then you end up going out the mouth of Shannon, obviously, and you end up in America, and what are you doing over here? It's kind of weird. And the fact that I wrote some of these songs a good while ago, never thought I'd be here. It's kind of, looking back at them, you're going, right, that was kind of strange. So Colonel Lungig Shoal, set the ship a sail. That's kind of what I'm getting at. Okay.
Just eating the creature sweet, not glorver the viola le kjol. It's Irene got gargle goira, the curl on the show. Curl on the show, curl on the show. A mock is a mock, oh, all in the time, nerd the nose, you got me on the show. Not just see I'm chilling for him. This fellow is not go. It's Irene that grew in the stew and the girl on the show. So much old dialogue, all in the tiny nerd, the non she gonna be on the show. Dog me shantak. Snívaj beráš do. Arimo hail the sail, a curl on the show. Curl on the show, curl on the show. A mock is a mock, oh, title, even the time.
So Gurmil Mogad le Karen, August Gopton Mitch, August John and Chuck, fresh and air and film. Give the on the sound, Mitch and John here. And to Karen and all the volunteers. What's the word for volunteer, Osquelga? Sirali. For all the Sirala. Yeah. Well done, everyone. Brilliant. Right, I'm gonna finish off with yeah. This is translated, like transcreated by the one and only Gabriel Rosenstock. One of the amazing things I've gotten to do is to work with both Gabriel and Tristan Rosenstock on lots of different things. Gabriel like does Korean haikus and then he brings them into Gaelic and just to have them in Irish, you know, keeping their language alive, and he just does stuff for fun and translates things. So this is Yeats. I have a whole show of Yeats' stuff I do, W.B. Yeats, and some of them have translations, and it's always Gabriel who does it because he's brilliant at keeping the same rhythm and feel, but also the same meaning. I don't know how he does it. So it's been great to be here. Yeah, I have a couple of CDs. They're over in the merch area over there. Also a t-shirt if anyone wants to go for that. I record everything and make stuff myself and mix and master and all that stuff, so it's kind of like cottage. I can. I'm at Enda Reilly Music. Enda Reilly, E-N-D-A, like Enya, except you put a D instead of the Y. Enda. And Reilly, R-E-I-L-L-Y. So endareilly.com, or if you want a card, I can give you one, and you can find it that way. So down by the Sally Gardens, he's Kush Garahe the Sally. So thanks again for being it.
He's Kush Garahe the Sally doing may hate the small veal grow. How she Garahe the Sally is the law Kushi go bon. But bright she a story, maar de longer dat der grow. Ak vils boy Steve Ween is er kill the vin mango. Down by the Sally Gardens, my love and I did meet, and she passed the Sally Gardens with little snow white feet. She bade me take love easy as the leaves grow up on the tree. But I've been young, foolish with her would not agree. In art Kushna how we doing may heinous roam of flame, like she on her golden law, love all in Lumrock Lane. Brother she a story, Mara Irene and Fagalas, up Vils a boy Steve Ween, Fagla Dara Lunga Frog. In a field down near, in a field down by the river, my love and I did stand, and on my leaning shoulder she placed her snow white hand. She bade me take love easy as the grass grows up on the weeds. But I was young, foolish, and now I'm full of tears.
Marie, Mommy. Who's up next? Maya. Maya, stick around for Maya. Amazing singing. So, yep.